Have you ever wondered why you act the way you do when no one's watching? Why certain things bother you? Why certain people drain you? Or why you react instantly in moments you barely understand? The answers aren't random. They are rooted in hidden psychological patterns that reveal far more about you than you realize. And if you stick with this video until the end, you will see parts of yourself you never noticed before, and understand exactly why you think, feel, and behave the way you do. You would be surprised how much your small, everyday habits say about you, and most people have no idea what they're revealing. Let's start with something simple: the way you handle silence. People who can sit in silence without reaching for their phone often have stronger emotional regulation. It doesn't mean they're more disciplined than you. It means their brain trusts quiet moments instead of trying to escape them. If silence makes you uncomfortable, it usually means your mind is carrying something unresolved. Noise becomes a distraction, not entertainment. Another subtle habit is how you respond to minor inconveniences. When you get irritated at slow internet, long lines, or someone walking too slowly in front of you, it has less to do with the situation and more to do with your internal state. People who snap quickly usually aren't angry. They're overloaded. Their brain is carrying more stress than they realize, and the inconvenience becomes the tipping point. The way you treat strangers says even more. If you're kind to people who can't give you anything, like cashiers, servers, janitors, or elderly neighbors, it often means your empathy is natural, not performative. You're not nice because someone is watching. You're nice because it's who you are. Your environment also reveals deep psychological truths. People who keep a messy room aren't always lazy. Many have high creativity or fast-thinking minds. Their thoughts move quicker than their routines can catch up. On the other hand, people who crave perfectly clean spaces often do so because chaos makes their nervous system anxious. The environment becomes a way to control the inner noise. Think about how you react when someone interrupts you. If you feel defensive or annoyed, it might signal you grew up not being heard. Your brain learned to protect your voice because it wasn't valued before. If you instantly go quiet instead, it could mean your brain defaults to safety through silence. Both reactions tell a story. Your relationship with time is revealing too. If you're always early, it often means you were conditioned to fear disappointing people. If you're always late, it may mean your brain struggles with time awareness or gets overwhelmed easily. Not that you don't care. And here's one most people don't realize. The way you talk to yourself changes what your brain believes about you. If your inner voice is harsh, your brain registers it as truth, not opinion. If your inner voice is supportive, your brain becomes more resilient. You're the narrator of your own life, even when you don't notice it. These habits might feel small, but they reveal core parts of your psychology and your patterns. And once you understand these patterns, you get a clearer picture of who you really are beneath the surface. Your emotions are not random, they're messages, and they reveal things about you long before you put them into words. Start with this. The emotion you try the hardest to avoid usually reveals your biggest wound. If you can't tolerate embarrassment, it often means you grew up in an environment where mistakes weren't safe. If you avoid sadness, it might mean you learned to hide your pain to stay strong for others. If anger scares you, you probably watched anger used in ways that hurt people. Your least tolerated emotion is your history speaking. Look at how you react to compliments. If someone praises you and you immediately deflect or reject it, that usually means your brain isn't used to positive attention. It doesn't trust it. On the other hand, if a compliment makes you feel deeply seen, it may mean you have spent most of your life undervalued. Your emotional triggers are even more revealing. When someone says a small comment that instantly upsets you, it's rarely about the comment. It's about what it represents. Being dismissed might remind you of childhood moments where your voice didn't matter. Being ignored might touch the fear of being forgotten. Being judged might echo old experiences of being criticized. Your triggers point directly to the places you need healing. Your attachment to certain people tells a story too. If you cling to people who treat you poorly, it often means deep down, you're trying to earn a kind of love you never received. If you push away good people, it might mean your brain learned that closeness is dangerous. If you stay in situations long after they stop giving you anything, it means your nervous system associates the familiar with safety, even when it hurts. Look at how you handle conflict. Do you fight, freeze, shut down, over-explain, or try to fix everything immediately? Each reaction connects back to childhood. You learned your style of protection long before you understood it. Even your sense of humor is revealing. Some people use humor to connect, some to deflect pain, some to cope with anxiety, and some to create distance. Jokes often hide deeper truths: joy, fear, insecurity, or intelligence. Your emotional patterns aren't flaws, they're clues. They're telling you what shaped you, what protects you, and what still hurts. And if you listen closely, they show you who you really are beneath the reactions, beneath the masks, and beneath the habits. If you want to know what matters most to someone, look at what they're afraid of losing. Your fears are not weaknesses. They're reflections of what you care about most deeply. If you fear failure, it often means you value growth and competence. You want to do well because you care. If you fear rejection, it means connection is important to you. You want to be accepted because belonging matters. If you fear being misunderstood, it means communication is part of your identity. You want to be seen clearly because authenticity is important. Many people fear success more than failure. That fear usually comes from worrying that the people around them won't support their growth. It's not the success itself. It's the fear of changing alone. Another major fear is vulnerability. If opening up scares you, it's not because you're cold or distant. It's because you learned at some point that being open made you feel unsafe. Your brain now protects you by keeping emotions hidden. That doesn't mean you're emotionless. It means you're guarded. If you fear being abandoned, it often means you learn to attach carefully. You hold people close because losing them hurts too deeply. If you fear disappointing others, it means your self-worth was tied to being useful. Your value was measured by what you did, not who you were. Your fears also reveal your boundaries. If you fear confrontation, it often means you were conditioned to keep the peace. If you fear being controlled, it may mean you experienced someone taking away your freedom. If you fear being overlooked, it usually means you spent years trying to prove your worth. These fears aren't personality flaws. They're survival patterns your brain created to protect you. And here's the most powerful part. Your fears also reveal your potential. Every fear hides a skill you haven't developed yet. The fear of speaking hides the potential for influence. The fear of intimacy hides the potential for deep connection. The fear of failure hides the potential for mastery. Your fears tell you where your future is waiting. Nothing reveals your real personality more than the way you love, and what you expect in return. People who overgive in relationships often grew up earning love through effort. They learned that attention comes only when they meet expectations. People who undergive usually learn that relying on others felt unsafe or inconsistent. Your love language also holds clues. If you feel most loved through words, it might mean you grew up hearing very little validation. If you value quality time, it may mean presence was rare in your life. If acts of service matter most, you probably grew up needing help that no one provided. If physical affection means everything to you, maybe touch was how you felt safe. Every love language has a backstory. The way you argue says even more. If you shut down during conflict, you may be protecting yourself. If you try to fix everything instantly, you may fear losing people. If you get defensive quickly, you might have grown up being criticized. If you over-explain yourself, you may have spent years trying to justify your feelings. The people you're drawn to reveal your emotional patterns. Some people chase intensity because chaos feels familiar. Some chase stability because they crave safety. Some choose distant partners because being fully seen is terrifying. Some choose overly demanding partners because they equate love with effort. Your relationship behavior isn't a mystery. It's a mirror reflecting old wounds, old hopes, old fears, and the way your brain learned to survive them. Love doesn't reveal your weaknesses. It reveals your blueprint. The choices you make in quiet moments reveal more about you than the big dramatic decisions. Look at what you do when you have nothing to do. People who fill empty time instantly often fear sitting with their own thoughts. People who use free time to create, explore, or rest usually have a calmer internal world. Look at how you treat yourself after a mistake. If you punish yourself, it means you learn to associate errors with shame. If you forgive yourself quickly, it means your self-worth is stable. If you pretend nothing happened, it means you learn to avoid discomfort. Your response tells the whole story. Your sense of humor, your playlists, your late-night thoughts, the topics you're drawn to. All of these are psychological fingerprints. They reflect your past, your personality, Your wounds, your strengths, your fears, and your desires. Even your goals reveal your inner world. Some people chase success to feel worthy. Some chase freedom to escape expectations. Some chase love to feel safe. Some chase knowledge because control feels calming. Your goals don't define you. The reason behind them does. And here's something powerful. The person you are becoming is already visible in the small choices you make daily. The way you speak to yourself, the things you prioritize, the boundaries you're learning to set, the habits you're trying to break, the people you're choosing differently, the moments you pause and reflect instead of reacting. Those small choices reveal more about your future than you realize. Who you really are isn't hiding. It's written in your habits, your reactions, your fears, your relationships, and your everyday choices. The more you understand these patterns, the clearer your identity becomes. You're not a mystery. You're a story. And now, you're finally starting to read the pages that truly matter.